Meeting to order. This is in reference to the COVID-19 response. And we have, first of all, the press release. To be advised, the Board of
Well, first,
Oh, sorry.
you have to do the emergency
Okay.
declaration.
Okay, first. This is titled COVID-19 Public Health Emergency Resolution. It's Resolution 20-04. Yeah, I'm just reading through the whole thing here. And this has already been signed by us. Ryan came in at the last meeting, and he kind of anticipated this public health emergency resolution. So we've already signed it. Do you want me to read it?
It's just COVID-19 Public Health Emergency Resolution 20-04, and just need a motion.
Okay, so we need a motion to go ahead and approve this resolution. And so is there a motion to do so?
Motion to approve this resolution 20-04.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, having said that, we have a press release. Please be advised, the Board of County Commissioners of Cheyenne County, Kansas has declared a state of emergency in response to the COVID-19 this 19th day of March 2020. By order of the Cheyenne County Commissioners, access to the Cheyenne County Courthouse will be restricted immediately and until further notice. All county employees will be expected to report to work as normal and work normal business hours. Any citizens having business with one of the county offices is asked to call that office first. If the business cannot be completed over the phone, then the citizen is to answer screening questions and schedule an appointment with said office. The county employee is then advised to dispatch the citizen's name and date and time of appointment. The courthouse will be locked and there will be only one point of access. That access point will be the handicap door located on the west side of the building. The citizen is to enter the door and ring the doorbell to alert dispatch to let them enter. The citizen must have an appointment or have obtained permission for access prior to trying to obtain entry into the building. This is being done in an overabundance of caution to ensure the safety of the citizens of Cheyenne County and its employees. Ron, would you like to add anything?
I think if you guys have any input in regards to the proposal as to the restrictions and how those will be implemented, that can be discussed. This has been approved by Tabitha and Ryan, and but at this point in time, it is merely a suggestion and what the committee came to feel was the best course of action. But if any of you feel otherwise, please express that now so that we can discuss it. And if there need to be any changes, we can go ahead and make changes, but we've got to do it now.
How long are we closing it for? Does anybody know?
Undetermined at this point in time, I'm assuming.
I don't know that you can put it in date on it. So, right now, we just don't have that information.
Yeah, no one has that kind of information. Some experts are saying weeks, some months. Just circumstances will dictate.
Because it seems like that's going to put a big burden on a lot of people that gotta come here, you know.
Countrywide, you bet.
Well, it's going to be a lot bigger burden if everybody in the courthouse is homesick with
Yeah.
the virus, and nothing can be done.
Yeah.
But the state is relaxing some stuff, even for election stuff. They're working on relaxing Dolores's office with taxes and driver's license and all that.
Vehicle registration.
Registrations and all that. So.
Yeah. And this is not a novel idea. The majority of the counties in northwest Kansas, well, and Kansas in general, have implemented the same kind of precautions.
And a lot of them this morning are completely closing it to the public. So
Yeah.
Personally, I do not recommend
I don't at this
completely
point.
closing.
Scott, is the city closing too?
We haven't yet. We had this discussion just the other day, and we've kept it open, but probably if you're going to do it, we're going to do it. But we're gonna require them to be in the office, and same thing as what you're gonna do. And we're implementing, they can pay several different ways. They can even call in and pay by e-check or by credit card or by, and so they don't have to come in the office and, or drop their check in the drop box over there and stuff. So we'd probably do basically the same thing you do, appointment only, and go that same route.
Well, we kind of hated to come to this because I think the other night in our meeting, we were all in agreement that the more normal we can keep things, the better off we all will be. But we started receiving a lot of pressure from other counties and the state of Kansas to take some sort of action. So we felt it was time to go ahead and do that.
And in response to the screening requirement, when someone calls in and their situation cannot be handled by phone, I've coordinated with the mandates that have come down and with Tabitha and Ryan in regards to a screening questionnaire that will be utilized by each of the county employees. If you'll take a look at that, this is a form that will be used by each of the county employees that fields a phone call from someone needing to conduct business with the office. And so they're going to put what office they're in, the date. We're going to get the name, address, and phone number of each person who is calling in. Then you will see here we have a series of 8 questions, which is a screening process which is being used by dispatch. And also I have added other questions to reflect what came down in the mandate from the state regarding how to ensure that you're screening people properly. And this is more the travel restrictions.
He issued a mandatory quarantine information yesterday.
Right. So these are the questions that will be asked of persons wanting to gain access to the courthouse. This is subject to change because of the travel restrictions. So if there are more areas that they want to have added to the travel restriction, we will add those and get that to each of the offices immediately. We may, this is the preliminary, but they must understand that it is subject to change because things are coming down hour by hour. And we will do our best to get it modified into the offices as soon as possible. If all of the answers to the screening questions are no, then they will schedule a date and time for their appointment, and dispatch is to be notified of who is coming and when they are coming so that they can be buzzed in. I've already visited with Eric. Eric seems to think that will work. Now, in the event that there is an emergency, like a car wreck, or which is going to take dispatch is time to handle the situation, then contacting dispatch will suspend, and it will be upon the county office to allow that person access into the building. Because the door will be locked and the only way to get in is through the doorbell or someone being at the door to let them in. But what we are trying to coordinate is if something happens in dispatch where they are otherwise occupied with an emergency, that an email will go out to all county offices so that they are aware that if they have any appointments scheduled at that time, it will be their responsibility to let those people have access to the building.
And thank your people in advance. This is going to be an added workload for them. We apologize, but we saw no other clear way to do this.
I don't think it'll be a problem.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Now, can just the individual having business come in, or can someone come with them, say a driver? People who can't drive, a driver, or they have to wait outside?
The driver individual, that's going to be kind of up to
That's a case by case.
yeah. to the department. Let's say somebody makes an appointment with an Amanda, and Amanda goes through the questionnaire, makes your date, 10:30 tomorrow morning, and what you're asking is if they bring a second individual?
Yeah, like, I don't know, their husband or a driver or,
If Amanda
I'd say
asks
wait
them the same
outside.
questions, I think that would
Why
be good
come
to
in?
go.
Unless you're pushing a wheelchair or something, why come in?
Right. I would say you would only allow people in if they need assistance maneuvering to the office or interpretation.
Yeah.
That would be my,
Yeah, and
what
there
I would
again, I
say.
think those individuals ought to be subject to the questionnaire.
yes, absolutely.
Which I could see with my office going through appeals on values that a husband and a wife might come in.
Sure.
It would be a question that I
Sure.
would ask, you know,
That-
is there somebody
that-
else coming with you? I need to ask these questions.
That's
And then I
legitimate.
put it on the list that's husband and wife, partners in a business or whatever.
There you go. I think that would,
Maybe the question should be, will you be the only person gaining access at this time?
Plus, I'd think some of that stuff could be delayed. The appeals on evaluations.
Well,
I think there's
had an
direction.
hour and 45-minute conference call yesterday that normally is 30 minutes or less, and they're working on if they need to push deadlines back where.
Yeah, I
They're
think,
pushing deadlines back on a lot of stuff
Yeah.
right now, the
Yeah.
federal government is.
And a lot of them are doing,
I just heard they're gonna push back mortgages 90 days. People don't have to make their mortgage payments on their own for 90 days.
yeah, for a HUD loan.
Currently,
They're saying all
currently
banks.
you cannot foreclose or evict.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's, like you said, there's things coming down every hour.
Every hour.
Well, and as Leslie pointed out, this is kind of fluid. There could be changes at the end of the day today, or it may turn out to be adequate for what we need.
But I think what it shows is that we are trying to ensure the safety of everyone,
Yeah.
so that local government can continue to operate. That's the goal, is we can't just shut down. I mean, that would be detrimental. Unless we're told otherwise.
We're getting our cues and our directions from the state of Kansas through the Emergency Management Department and different entities, so,
Public health is,
I'm sorry, Aaron?
public health is the main coordinating agency.
Yeah, and so we're trying to follow their recommendations the best we can.
What were you, I mean, we were been talking about this because Monday night we have a meeting. You know, your open meetings rules and yet you don't want a whole bunch of people coming. It's, because especially with something like this going on, if you guys close, we close, they're gonna, you might have 50 people show up and say, why are you closing?
Yeah.
Right?
That good answer, Brian?
There is guidance on that. If you don't have it, I can get you that. It actually came from the Secretary of State's office regarding meetings can be recorded and put out to the public. They have to be viewable by the public. You do not have to allow public to speak. Have you received that guidance?
Probably.
Basically, you can shut it off to it has to be accessible and viewable by the public, but you do not have to allow the public in to speak. Does that
Can you
make-
send that to me? Because the last
Yes.
one I received is you still have to.
You have to hold it and they have to be open meetings, but there is guidance on that of how to handle that. As far as like a whole bunch of people coming into rooms and stuff, there is.
Why don't you
guidance.
send that out again?
Yes.
Just
I
in
will.
case, so we aren't,
but you include me too.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Send it to the
There is
city
guidance
office.
on that. They are recommending if you are holding public meetings, that you try to space the 6 feet. So,
well, and the only other option I can think of is using a bigger facility
yes. You may
for
have to
your
change
meetings.
locations.
If you have concerns.
Courtrooms.
Courtrooms, school, because it's shut down.
And just keep in mind, I mean, because this is going beyond this, but just keep in mind, this is a fluid situation and it is changing constantly. So
I think I've had
we're just-
three administrative orders, executive orders, and mandates already.
Right, we're just trying to stay ahead of it and stay on top of it, so.
Did you get the email I forwarded to you that the state is closing on Friday?
Well, I am aware of some of that, but I will review that email. I've not gotten it right away, but yes.
And some of the counties around are using the Dropbox idea, which is perfectly fine.
Yes.
If you want to set that up, that would be,
Well,
I don't know
let's,
why-
okay,
That's
we need
not
to,
gonna work.
Well, I mean, just for her
stop,
office?
stop, we need to
Yeah,
finish our special meeting.
Okay.
And then go
I'm
into a
sorry.
department head meeting
sorry.
to answer these questions.
Do we need a motion vote on the courthouse part?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, need a motion to go ahead and approve the guidelines set forth in the resolution 20-04.
No, you've done
No,
that.
the
Is this the screening process?
screening process, I'm sorry.
I so move.
A second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, do we have anything else we need to talk about for this particular meeting?
So is it gonna be totally closed, or can we do appointments?
Appointments?
Dolores will address that in just a minute.
Just
We'll
wait.
we'll get caught up here in just a second. Okay, any other comments or discussion?
I'm good now.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn this meeting.
All those in favor? Aye.
Do they need to approve that resolution?
There you go.
First thing.
Okay.